All right, yeah, the recording is in progress. So you would have to know this and then also this, how to solve like maybe this kind of question when you have X, Y, Z, and etc. So we're gonna discuss that. So today's lesson, I'm just gonna be giving you guys some few things that you need to take into account so that you don't have any problem with this maths. So I'm just gonna go and write away now. We're going to open our Microsoft Word. So we're going to be using, I will be using this to write for today. But normally when I teach, I don't really teach using this software. There is another software that I teach using that software. So what's happening, guys, here in this maths? You must remember you are going to be working with numbers. You're going to be working with numbers. And then also you will be working with letters. There is a reason why I'm saying this. So many students, they get confused when they see 2x or something like x plus 3y. I'm just giving you an example. So you must not be confused about these two things. Like when you see the x, you say, no, this thing is complicated. Maybe they give you a question x plus 3y equals to, let's say, 4x minus y. So you don't have to be confused about this kind of equation. So here, when we talk about, when we say letters, we're gonna call them variables. When you have when they say variables, variables are the letters. So when we work with variables, what is going to happen is that you must know two things. The first thing is about the like terms. Eh? Like terms. The guy who is playing music, you can mute. You must know about the like terms. And then after that, when you understand about the like terms, you must know about the like terms. And then when you know about the like terms and also about the unlike terms, unlike terms, unlike terms. So when you have two things, when we talk about the like terms and unlike terms, if you have banana, I'll just represent it as B, and you also have orange as O. These two things, they are not the same. So which means you cannot say I have two bananas. You see, I have two bananas. You will say you have one banana and what, and one orange. So that's how you're gonna say it on when that's how you're going to say it, that you have one banana and you have one banana and one orange. So now it's still the same as in mathematics when you are dealing with numbers. If you have x and also if you have an x, if you have x and also plus, let's say for example, plus y. So x plus y, because x and y, they are not the same, you cannot say this is equals to 2x or you say equals to 2y. It's wrong. It's not equals to that. X plus y is going to be equals to x plus y because they are unlike terms. It's going to be equals to x, going to be equals to x plus y because these are unlike terms. But if you have x plus 3x, you can see that this here you have x and you have x again. It's the same. It's like you have one banana. Let's say one banana. I'm just trying to write it so that you can understand it. Banana. Okay, it's nana, like something like that. And plus 3 again, banana. So obvious because they are this all the bananas, you can add them. You say, I have how many? You can say I have 4. I have 4 bananas. You can say I have what? I have 4. 1 plus 3. 1 banana plus 3 bananas. It could give you 4 bananas. So the same way I'm giving you this example here is the same as when you have x and y. So it's just that we're gonna be using variables. So x plus y x plus 3y is going to give you what? 4x. Why are we adding We are adding because they are the like terms. So let me open your study guide so that you can see something that I'm talking about. So what I'm talking about is in your first study guide here, you will see that in this study guide here, you are working more on in the first, let me just, here they're gonna be, they were teaching you about how to add using the BMass rule, which I will complete with you for now. Don't worry about that. It's not really that much hard, this one, but the most important part is this one because you're going to be working with this later. You see, it's an example 1.2 in your study guide. As I've said, I'm going to share this study guide with you guys. So it's example 1.2. So in this example, you have a letter. The first letter that you have there is you have a Y, you also have Z and X. So you have three different letters here. We have three different letters, which is Y, X, Y, Z, and X. And then here now, they're just showing you if you will have to. Here they're just doing something. They say this is equals to that. So they calculated because of they gave you this expression, or not really about that expression. They told you that X equals to 2, Y equals to 4, and Z equals to 5. So you just have to substitute those values. But there will be a point whereby those values you are not going to be given, and you will have to solve this. So, but if you have to substitute, this one is going to be more simpler. So let me, as long as I think I have showed you guys about the like terms, this is what we're still gonna discuss about what we were discussing today. So I'm still going to be showing you guys how to work on these like terms and the terms. So, but let's just go also to, if you have a question before I proceed, you must feel free to ask. Don't hesitate to ask a question. So now in BMass rule, remember, I'm gonna write a board. Hello? Do you have a question? Are you ask? Is there someone else talking? All right, I thought there is someone asking a question. So guys, we have a BMass. So we have a BMass rule. So BMass rule. I will teach you what is BMass rule today. So BMass rule, guys, many people they make a mistake in this BMass rule when, especially with O here, with this O here. So B, it means brackets in this BMass rule. It means brackets. So when it means brackets, it means brackets. So when it means brackets, it means that if you have an equation like this here, what we're going to do, we're going to first solve the one in the brackets. So if we have to solve the one in a bracket, it means that we're going to say, what is 7 plus 3 is going to give us 10. So which means when I rewrite this equation, it's going to say 5 multiply by what? Multiply by 10 minus 32 divided by 4, and then multiply by 3. So when we go to this one, which many people, they call it off, né? They say it's off like this. This one, and they say it's multiplication like that dot. It's not that dot there. This one, this O, it means is for exponents. It's for what? Exponents. You must remember that. Exponents. When we say exponents, if you have something like 2 to the power 3, after doing this, if this question of ours, it have that, we were going to first solve this 2 to the power 3. And the 2 to the power 3, you must remember that is the same as 2 times what? 2 times 2. But we're still going to get to this when we're dealing with an exponents because it's a chapter by its own. So which you're going to get 8. So which means we're going to write 8. But in this equation here, we don't have exponents. We don't have something like 2 to the power something, or maybe 5 to the power 10 or 5 to the power 2. So after that, when you don't have it, you're going to skip. You go to check. Do you have D? D means divide. It's just divide, divide, divide. So with divide, we have a division. After is it, this one is the first expression that we solved. So we have a division here. So we're going to solve this one, which means you are going to say, you don't worry about this negative there. You are going to say 32, you divide it by 4. So when you say 32 divided by 4, you will see that it's going to give you 8. The answer will be 8. Then in this section here, for 32 and 4, that's when you're going to write what? 8. That's why we have 50. Here after that, writing that 8, now you know that after division, in our BMass rule, you can go to multiplication. Then you don't mind, you can multiply these two. For example, you can say 5 times 2 is going to give you 50 minus 32 divided by 4. It was 8. It's negative 8 multiply by 3. After that, you have this expression, but you still have multiplication. You check here. This is multiplication, this is addition, and the S is subtraction. So you will see that after here, because the only sign that you are left with negative, and you're also left with subtraction and multiplication. So what you're going to do, you're going to go to multiply first. So which means you're going to say 8 multiplied by 3. And 8 multiplied by 3 is going to give you 24. So which means you're going to have 50 minus what? 24. Then when you have 50 minus 24, this is simple. You can just say 50 minus 24. There is no need for you to be checking if you are following a BMass rule. So BMass rule, remember, is the rule that we all make when we're still in primary school, but it still applies here at university so that you can have an accurate answer. So now I'm going to do something with you. This is an activity. These activities, I'm not sure if they have answers, but if they have answers, you will check in the memo in the this study guide that I'm going to send it to you guys in the group. So let's see if you can. Let's see if we can do something here in this this assignment. So what is happening? We are going to follow our BMass rule here. So mathematics, let me also, before I proceed, this lesson for today, it might be kind of like boring, but trust me, you're going to need this, what we are doing, as time goes on, because as time goes on, things are going to be hard in this module. So you're going to need to apply this. So, and you won't be having time to go through again. So it's better now when you are still in the beginning to learn the basics before we proceed. So now you will see that we have this sum here. In this sum, we have a lot of things. We have a brackets inside another brackets, and after that we have another brackets. So what you're gonna do here inside these brackets, you can first solve some other things inside. If we have to solve, like we have these brackets here, and we also have another brackets inside these brackets, as you can see, and we have this one. So inside the brackets, we have two things here. We have we have addition and multiplication. So what you can do before, you can first solve what is inside these brackets. So when we solve that, we're going to follow our what? Our BMass rule. We know that in the BMass rule, the first thing between addition and multiplication is going to be what? Multiplication. So which means I can write my 50 minus, I will multiply by what? By 4 times 6 is going to give me 24, which means I will have 3 plus 24 plus again. When I say plus here, we are still inside another brackets here. So we know that if we have to solve this one inside these other brackets, we're going to start with what? Because we have division and we also have multiplication. We're going to start with division. So if I say 15 divided by 5 is going to give me 3. So which means I will have 3 times 3. Then after that, minus, in brackets, inside this bracket, we have 36 divided by 4, and we also have plus 2. So we check our BMass rule. We're going to start with division. Going to be 36 divided by 4. It's going to be 9. So we have 9 plus 2. So now we are going to solve together. We are going to refill these blocks. So what is going to happen? We're going to say, okay, it's fine. We're going to write again like this way, a brackets. When we write a brackets, we're going to write 50. They are showing you that you must, here they are showing you that if you do it correctly in a BMass way, you will have how many steps? 1, 2, 3, 4, the remaining. Sorry. We're going to have 50. Then in these brackets now, there is no more problem. We're going to do what? We're going to add them. We're going to say 3 plus 24, which is going to give us 27. Plus, then when we add there, we have what? Plus is 3 times 3. 3 times 3 It's going to give us what? It's going to give us 9 plus 9. You write 9, you put your brackets there, minus. Now you add 9 plus 2 is going to be what? It's going to be 11. You write your 11. That's the first block that we filled. Now we check, after this block that we filled, which one are we going to use? Which one are we going to solve? So the one we're going to solve now is going to be for addition, because inside our brackets here we have addition, we have subtraction, and addition. So after addition, we have subtraction. So we're going to add. So when we add this, we're going to say we have 50 again. So if you say 50, you are adding minus 29 plus 3, minus 29 plus 9. Minus 29 plus 9, you got to know that it's going to give you 18. Ne? Close brackets, minus 11. That minus 11 there. We're still having something in the brackets. We're still solving some things in the brackets. Then we go to the next step. In the next step, you're going to say 50 minus 18. 50 minus 18 is like, we're going to get 38, not 30, it's going to be 32. 32. If you say 50 minus 18, you can also use your calculator for that. You want to get 32 minus what? 11. Then after that, when you have 32 minus 11, you can now write your final answer. So your final answer is going to be 32 minus 11 is going to be 21, not 20. Yeah, it's going to be 21. 21. You can just say, you first, if you want to do this kind of mathematics without a calculator, 32 minus like adding and subtracting, you just, because of it's 11, you just say minus 1 first, it's going to be 31. Then you subtract by 10. Then 31 you subtract by 10 is going to be 21. So that's our final answer for this question. We were using what? The BMass rule. So I hope by this example, you won't have a problem with a BMass rule at all. Like, it's very simple when you are flowing this strategy. Sometimes if you are writing, just write these words, BMass rule, on top, maybe with a pencil, if you are working on the paper. And then unless otherwise, if you are using your laptop, because these days technology have grown too much. So maybe some people, they prefer to use their laptops. So now we are going to solve this problem here. So when we solve this problem, you can see that, try this one on your own. So when we start this one, we're going to first work on the brackets. So when we work on the brackets, we have also, it's still the same as that one, as you can see. So the first thing that you can do, you can say, okay, we know that we shall solve what is inside the brackets. So we're going to say 13 plus, we rewrite plus 12. You put it in the brackets as it is, multiply by, then here when you multiply, you're going to write 20. Is it, we are following the brackets rule. Inside these brackets, we have plus in brackets. Now we have multiplication inside these brackets, the one within in the brackets. We have multiplication and we have subtraction. We know that we are going to first multiply. So if you say 8 times 5, what is 8 times 5? It's going to be 40, ne? It's going to be 40 if you can use your calculator. It's going to be 40. How do I know that is 40? The first thing that I did when I'm not using a calculator, I say 8 times 4. I know that 8 times 4 is 32. Then if it's 32, I add 8 again, it's going to be 40. So you can use your calculator for that. Then you will put minus what? Minus 10. Then you divide by what? You divide by 5. So you will put brackets again. So now the second step that you can do, you can also add these two in the brackets. You can say 13 plus 12. 13 plus 12 is like 3 plus 5. 3 plus 2 is 5, which means you're going to have 25. Multiply by, when you multiply by that, we still have to solve in what is in brackets first. You say 20 plus. After that, you say 40 minus 10. 40 minus 10 is going to be what? It's going to be 30, because it's inside the brackets. You're going to have 30 divided by 5. So 30 divided by 5. After that, we're going to fill. Remember, we are still working on the brackets. So you're going to write 25, multiply by, again. In the brackets here, you will have 20 plus 30 divided by 5. We have plus and division. We know that the division is going to come first. So you're going to say 30 divided by 5 30 divided by 5, I think, is 6, if I'm not mistaken. 5 plus 5 is 10. Yeah, it's 6. So which means we're going to have 20 plus 6. So now when we have 20 plus 6, you can say that we can write 25. Multiply by, we solve what is in brackets. This is multiplication. Let me write it properly. 25 multiplied by 20 plus 6 is going to be 26. So this one, I'm not going to be able to calculate it, but I just know that if you say 20 plus 20 times 20, I know that is going to be 400. Ne? So 25 times 26, 25 times 25, I'm not sure. 25 times 26, I'm not sure how much it's going to be. So you guys, you can do it for in my side within your calculator, or let me also open my a small calculator here. I do have a calculator, I guess. Why is it not opening? Where is that calculator? Okay, we have a calculator now. We can say 25. We multiply it by 26 equals to 650. 650. That's what I got using that calculator. Oh, and the answer is 650. We didn't see that. You see that? They say the answer is 600. Did you succeed? So according to those steps when we're using BODMAS, we finally succeeded to an answer. So this one, they didn't really tell us what was the answer. But as you can see, when you use when you use this rule, BODMAS rule, it's very simple for you to get exactly to the right answer when you are working with this kind of sum. So this BODMAS rule, it won't only be helping you to work like this. You will be working with a very complicated questions that will require you to use a BODMAS rule. So any question, is there anyone who have a question? Don't be don't be scared. If you have any question that you have, you rather ask here so that I can answer you. And then there is no stupid question. Any question that you want to ask, unless otherwise, if you guys, you are fine, you can ask. Anyone who have a question? All right. So guys, in this one here, I think it is given already. So what is needed, you have to just substitute. You were given x equals to 2, y equals to 4, and z equals to 5. So in those letters there, you have to substitute with you instead of writing y, you will write it as 4. And then instead of writing z, you write it as 5. The way they did it like that in this one. So this one is just a simple question that we're gonna do, but I'm not gonna use this one. Let me use only this one here to show you how it's done. So we have this expression here. The problem part, okay, here they already solve it for you. So you just have to complete it using what? You just have to complete it using the BODMAS rule in this one here. So you can, as you can see. So I'm gonna give you guys, you can take a picture of this one if you have, especially starting here so that you can complete it. And then maybe you can send it in the group so that I can see how did you get it. You can send it in the group, then I will be correcting you guys. That's how we're gonna be learning. So you can take a picture of this question there. You guys, you are going to start here using the BODMAS rule as we did first. So also this one, I will answer it in the, I will do the first line. You guys, you're gonna complete it using the BODMAS rule. So if I have to substitute this, it's going to be 1/2. Remember, 1/2 is half. It's gonna be multiplied by our x is 2, multiplied by our y is 4, multiplied by again our z. Actually, I will pronounce z. I will say z, but it's not actually z. It's called z when you pronounce z. But because of we are black people, I will just say z so that you know that I mean z. But if you had somebody saying z, if it's a white person, remember they mean z. So plus 1/4. And then in 1/4, there is brackets x2 multiplied by z, which is 5 plus, okay, and 5, I didn't write it properly, which is 5 there. And then plus 2 multiplied by y is 4. and then plus 2 again. So you guys, you are going to complete also this one the way I've written in what in the using the BMass rule. Using the BMass rule. So guys, if you don't have, and I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. If you have any question, you can let me know. If you don't have any question, kindly, if you have any question, you can ask. And then for today, guys, it won't be that much long. It will be uh, a meeting or a short lesson because of I'm having a flu, and then I didn't really wanted to disappoint you guys. I write in the group that I'm not well. So I decided that, okay, let me have a class with you, even though I have a flu for at least 30 minutes. So if you have any question, you can ask before I proceed. Or if you don't have a question, you can still ask in the group there. I will be there. I always check. I'm gonna respond to you. And then you're gonna have this access of this video today. And then thank you guys for being here. So I will meet you guys in the next lesson. So the next lesson is going to be a little bit harder as we won't be repeating what we did today. We are going to proceed with this. This is the difficult part which it come now, whereby you have to solve this kind of sums. So don't worry about that. It's going to be so nice and you're going to enjoy it. Have a good day, and I'm going to stop now. So I'm gonna end our meeting, né?